1966, the Black Panther Party was founded to protect and serve the black community, to put an end to police brutality and to provide services to the black community that the government would not. They started in Oakland, and the first kind of big case was in North Richmond with Denzil Dowell. When Denzil Dowell was killed by the police, and the Black Panthers came to inform the community of their legal rights, to help arm people, and to provide some protection for them against the police and rally for this cause. That was the first kind of local case where the Panthers get some notoriety. North Richmond was a place, it's unincorporated. This is one of the first black neighborhoods in Richmond, and it's next to this dump, it's next to all the pollution from the refinery, and most importantly, people couldn't go to the city of Richmond if they had an issue or to organize politically. They had to go to the county, which is many miles away in Martinez. So this was really an area that was disenfranchised despite all of this policing in the area from the county and the city, and all these black people getting harassed and killed. So Richmond had a huge issue with police brutality. Here there was this group called the Cowboys, and they were harassing black people regularly. And so many would say that it was this kind of police brutality that was the reason the Black Panthers came about here in the city of Richmond, and Denzil Dowell being killed then became a catalyst for an ongoing problem that many already had an issue with. Police shootouts then started happening regularly, right? The police felt very threatened. They didn't know what to do. They didn't know how to use their authority anymore, because now we had black people in our community that were willing to protect us. A lot of people know the iconic photos of Panthers holding up guns, right? But the other part of it, why they were so powerful, was because they provided these services to the black community that the government would not. So, for example, one of their biggest programs was the free breakfast program. And one of the first ones was here in Richmond. This was simply that kids need to eat if they're going to learn, right? And this is something that then gets adopted by the American government later on. But they had other things, like they had free medical clinics, they had free ambulances, they had sickle cell testing, because it was a major issue to the black community that wasn't being studied by mainstream institutions. And what's so funny to me is the first service that they had was literally walking kids across the street because the city of Oakland refused to put in stop signs, and kids were getting hit by cars. So it really was government negligence. They said, well, this can't be. This isn't the world we're supposed to live in. So we're gonna go ahead and provide these services to ourselves because we are capable of doing so. The immediate correlation I see between the Black Panther Party started in the 60s and the current movement of Black Lives Matter is that it's really the same issue that we're battling. And so it's one of those things where a lot is the same, there are some differences, but I think the greatest gift the Panthers gave us is the spirit of just fighting back in every way we know how, direct action, studying the law, being well read, right, and really speaking out about everything. The other part is knowing how to organize. These were young people, teenagers, early 20s, that came together because they believed these issues need to end now. And when they came together, they did so very quickly. There wasn't any formal training that necessarily happened that said, okay, you guys are ready to go off to the world and start this movement. They just said, we got what we got. Let's be scrappy and make this happen. And they came together because they believed in this. And so the organizing strategies. One thing they did in North Richmond with the Denzil Dowell case is they surveyed the whole community. They went door to door and said, what are the issues here? What are you guys looking for? And then they informed them at the same time. And so doing that community engagement and bringing all these different people together, several different generations, right? The young people brought together and doing the actual work of ending stuff like police brutality, ending mass incarceration, thinking differently about the world that we live in and could live in. Similar to the Black Panthers, the Black Lives Matter movement has formed extremely quickly. And what's beautiful about it is that all these youth around the country are able to give it its own identity and shape it and form it and say, this is what we want. And politically, on the national scale as well as on the local scale. Right, so what happens here in Richmond matters for the entire Black Lives Matter movement.